today for another
Hello. Welcome for another episode of the Market Leader Live. Hey, it's your host with the most, your main man, Darren M. Palmer. Excited to be with you for another episode. I got special guests today, Miss Joyce Johnson and also Miss Cynthia Barnes. Ladies, please say hello to everyone.
Hello.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, if you don't mind, I just wanted to start. Let's just start first with Miss Barnes. If you don't mind to share with the audience a little bit about yourself and what you do, and then we'll move to you, Joyce, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Sure. I'm Cynthia Barnes, founder and CEO of the National Association of Women Sales Professionals. As a women in sales influencer, I help women who sell B2B services in male-dominated industries and female entrepreneurs get to the top 1%.
Drop the mic.
Okay, Ms. Barnes, thank you. Joyce, let's hear from you.
I am Joyce Johnson, author, speaker, sales champion, and coach, and founder of Why Sales Network. My team said I got to do that with energy, so I give them my old voice when I do that. Give them my old voice.
Okay, that's amazing. That's amazing. And I want to get into it, ladies, because I just feel that what you all are doing, whether it's male or female, you are trailblazers in your own right for us in industry or whatnot. But I want to dive into it because some of our listeners, they're dealing with some real life issues right now in light of COVID-19. So I just want you to let's just start it off right off the top. How are you all pivoting during these trying times? You know, Miss Barnes, if you don't mind, could you lead us off because you are a leader? And what are you doing yourself and what are you sharing with your leaders for us during these trying times?
First of all, we have to keep in mind the mission of NAWSP, and that is to help our women in sales get to the top 1%. So with clarity and focus, we make every decision based upon that foundation. So we hold 120 events, live events around the country, around the world per year, mainly in the United States. And with COVID, we're unable to do so. So the big question became, how do we take those events and turn them into virtual events to keep our members engaged and to provide them with the professional development and the network to reach the top 1%? And it goes back to being transparent with your leadership team. It goes back to maintaining the foundation and the core values of what your organization is about, and then projecting those and telling your leadership, this is where we're going. So you have to be a very good communicator and maintain communication between your members and your leadership team and steer the ship so that everybody is on the same page at the same time.
Awesome. I love that. Miss Barnes. You know, Joyce, if you don't mind, could you give us your take of how are you pivoting as well? And what are you sharing with your leaders?
Well, as Cynthia said, you have to keep the goal and the mission in line, right? And so, as you know, one of the things that we're going to talk about today is the Why Sales Leadership Retreat and the fact that we're supposed to go to the Bahamas. The fact that I had speaking engagements on the books and working with colleges. So quickly had to, first of all, just be still and think through it to make sure I was making the right moves for the right reasons. And then from there, created a virtual platform. So if you go to my site now, it's been updated with virtual meetings, which allows me to support colleges and educating and engaging their students, preparing them for the workplace. And then also, so that solves that. I don't have to get on a plane to go to them. We can talk. And as well as the Y Sales Leadership Program, because I do have that sort of a millennial following that is interested in just learning as much as they can about growing as professional salespeople. And so was able to convert the Y Sales Leadership Program and a lot of other things to virtual. And then I also did a conference call sort of on my podcast with college students, just talk about how they're feeling, what they're experiencing, how it's impacting them, and share it out with the parents on what they need from, us, the parents, and their mentors at this time.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Joyce, for sharing that, and you, Miss Barnes, as well. Now, when we talk about being a market leader, you know, Miss Barnes, you are definitely a market leader. So could you give us some tangible steps for those who are listening on how they can become a market leader, and no matter what industry that they're in? What were some things that you utilized that allow for you to separate yourself from others in the marketplace through your leadership?
Be crystal clear on who you are, who you serve, and the results that you get. There's an old saying that you get rich in your niche. And if you try to market or to please or to sell to everybody, you'll sell to nobody, because nobody will feel special. So in my journey on becoming a subject matter expert and thought leader, it was all based upon the fact that I wanted to be known for something specific. And as Swiss Beats says, if you're not on this earth to change anything, then what the heck are you doing?
Come on now. Come on now. Miss Barnes is just dropping bombs on us, value bombs on us.
Yes.
Yes. I love that. I love that.
And you are who you serve in your results. Noted.
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. And you know what, Miss Barnes, when you're sharing that, I've said that with those who are listeners to this particular show, people don't know if they can trust you. They don't feel like they know you. They don't feel like that they could do business with you. If 1 minute I see you, you're selling motor oil. The next minute I see you that you're saying that you got golf clubs for sale. The next minute I'm telling you that I'm a life coach. Most people are confused about who you are and what your brand is. Actually, you don't even have a brand.
Right.
And speaking of that, you know, Joyce, with you being the sales champion or whatnot, and what you're doing for millennials or whatnot and campuses, because of your expertise, share how you were able to niche down, because you're not all over the place as far as your marketing and what you're doing. So share with us too how you've been able to be a market leader as far as what you're doing.
And again, mine is to focus on developing those college babies. And, I've been at it for so long that they're graduating and I'm graduating with them. Right. So I'm not going back and getting a new group, or I'm not going forward and trying to get a new group. I've been doing this for, many years. And the students who I've mentored 10, 12, 15 years ago, I'm growing with them as they call me and say what they need. What their concerns are, what they're afraid of, what their challenges are, and what, what barriers they need to break down or how they go about doing that. So I'm growing with, as my audience age, I'm aging with them, but still, feeding into those, that very sensitive state of them being college students and adulting.
Miss Barnes, you brought up something earlier, and Joyce, you did a great job on sharing how you were able to be a market leader as well. But you brought up a point, and me being a father and having 2 daughters of my own, and also just seeing some of the challenges that even my own mother has had in corporate. I would like for you just to speak to the ladies out there, if you don't mind. And we're going to, fellas, I got your back, fellas. I don't want you to feel like that you're lost in the sauce. But if you don't mind, could you speak to the ladies who feel like that they're in a predominantly male industry, they're being looked over. Some of them are doing double the work with less to pay. What could you share that could be words of encouragement for those out there who fighting the good fight of faith in their own corporate arena right now?
The first piece of advice would be to go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated. I speak with companies every single day that have women in sales initiatives, that have programs, that have ERGs and BRGs, and they're hell-bent on the attraction, hiring, development, and retention of women in sales. So if your company is not celebrating you, if you're in a typical bro culture and you have to fight for every single dime, if you look at the transparency of the organization and you find that the women are getting paid less than the men, then it's time to move on. You were looking for a job when you found that one. Go where they are actually going to uplift you and develop you, not where you are getting a paycheck. There's too many options out there. Don't settle.
And if I can chime in there, Darren, and just that thought process, right? I mentioned to our group on National Association of Women in Sales Press yesterday that if it was Wednesday, Cynthia would have been my women crush Wednesday, because what she just said, we weren't used to really hearing that as we were growing up, right? So a Cynthia Barnes is important because now she can validate for that for us. And she can say, I've done the work, I've done the research, I've talked to the people, and it's okay. You don't have to stay here and be in the abusive relationship, because it's an abusive relationship. You can move on and go somewhere where she said that you're celebrated and not tolerated. Because I think a lot of women have that fear, because that we've been told to stay and to work through it and to go through it and what have you. And so that's why she's so important to have for, women professionals.
I love it. And both of you ladies definitely gave us some great content right there. Now, this is a perfect segue so we can understand. Miss Barnes, please share with us. And Joyce, I want to hear your opinion as well. Why the partnership with the National Association of Women in Sales and Y Sales Network? How did that come about? Why did you all agree to partner with each other on this particular project?
Joyce?
Well, for me, it was a no-brainer, right? So when you think about when you're starting anew with something and you have that target audience and what you're doing, you go to someone whose brand is larger than yours, but the focus is the same. I don't believe in reinventing the wheel. I believe in collaboration. I believe in learning from someone that has done something well, right? And I was just online one day, honestly, and didn't know about the organization. And I'm always clicking on things so that, in my learning. And I clicked on it and I read through it. And I'm like, I've been looking for this all my life, all my sales professional life. And I immediately went on there, and paid the registration fee, and I signed up. And then I tracked Cynthia down on LinkedIn. I stalk people on LinkedIn often. And I'm like, I am so happy to learn about this organization. And then I wasn't in the organization for 2 weeks, and she actually took a call from me and coached me and things. And I said, I've just got to find a way to partner with her and to be in her presence to help me to continue to learn and grow.
You are so kind. Thank you. From our standpoint, back in 2016, when I was starting in AWSP, I said, what do I want my legacy to be? And throughout my sales career of selling pharmaceuticals, high-end skincare, staffing, recruiting, logistics, you name it, I had always been at the top 1% and very blessed and very grateful. And I took a look in 2016 and I said, what do I want to leave as my mark on the world? And I said, Cynthia, all the great success that you've had is nothing if you can't help other people get where they need to go. So the true test of success is not how well you do. You are measured, and your success is tied to how many others you help do well. So with my reach, with my sponsors, with my corporate partners, it doesn't do me any good to have all of that influence if I can't help folks like Joyce and her association and her organization level up as well. So I'm very, very particular about the organizations that we partner with. So I had time to get to know Joyce and find out what is her mission and where is she coming from and who is she? Because I don't want to expose my membership to an organization or an association or a partner or a corporate sponsor unless they have good intentions and it's mutually beneficial. So when I met Joyce and I got to know her and found out her mission, it just seemed like, okay, all the boxes were checked and this can be mutually beneficial for both of us.
Love it. I love it. I love it. And, we hear, you're hearing people share so much about legacy right now. And I think, Ms. Barnes, what you're bringing up is the importance of legacy. It doesn't just have to be in our family, so to speak, or whatnot, at a family reunion. It's the legacy of how many lives are you impacting? What will that be? That name that resonates. So that's why you see individuals, when you think of what Napoleon Hill was able to do for so many people to help them become millionaires or whatnot, or you see what a Madam C.J. Walker meant to those as far as what she was able to do on her entrepreneur endeavors. So if you, regardless who it is, if it's, empires that we've seen happen with Ebony and Jet, or whatever you see with BT. It doesn't matter what it is. It's about the legacy, because it wasn't just one family that benefited from that. It's all the other people that work from. If it was someone who was doing janitorial services that were able to retire and do that work, whether it's somebody who was an executive producer for a particular show or editor, it doesn't matter. It's about that legacy piece. So for those who are listening out there, what we're hearing from Ms. Barnes and from Ms. Johnson is the importance of being selfless. And also, if Joyce, and y'all excuse me, because I know we need to be, all respectful and do our thing on here. But if you are, because I know we got some younger people who are listening to this, that's why it's important. Miss Barnes wouldn't be working with Joyce if Joyce had some on TikTok where she was twerking. Oh yeah, I said that. Or if she was drunk somewhere and had a bad way of saying some slurs or saying things she wasn't supposed to do on there. So I'm bringing this up for those who are professional, because some of us believe, Miss Barnes, who are listening, that what I do on my private page is my business. And they're forfeiting opportunities, even though they can be brilliant, they can have more degrees than a thermometer. But at the same time, if you don't realize that, if you're caught, for the fellas, if you're beating on your wife or your significant other, if you find yourself with a bunch of DWIs or whatnot, or DUIs, or you find yourself in a compromising position because you tweeted something that you weren't supposed to tweet, don't let that just go over your head. With Ms. Barnes shared, she said that they strategically partnered with Joyce because she checked out. It checked the boxes. And I think so many of our people right now are missing out because they think they can do anything, and they think that somebody might be being prejudiced, or they think that you know what, Miss Barnes, you've made it and you don't want to help nobody. I reached out to you, but I'm not telling everybody that I reached out to you, Miss Barnes, but I had some dirt that you couldn't bring your organization in connection with that because it's a bad representation of you, and you've worked too hard to allot for your people to be with somebody that's not aligning with your brand. So could we talk a little bit more in depth about that, if you don't mind, ladies, about the importance of making sure you're ticking the boxes for as people wanting to collaborate or partner with you?
Sure. Your brand is everything that you do personally and professionally. Wow. There is no line. For example, when people become members of NAWSP or apply to become members of NAWSP, they have to put their LinkedIn profile, because we want to make sure that they are who they say they are. And Paul Carrick Brunson is one of my mentors and a good friend, and he said that there was an example of when he was at home and he was saying things that he wouldn't say in front of his mother. And his wife asked him, why the discrepancy? Why are you speaking this way at home, but yet you have a very respectful tone in front of your mother? And he said, well, that's my mama. Well, you should be the same. Consistency. You talked about trust in the beginning. And if you are going to be two different people or three different people, depending upon where you choose to assimilate, then how can people trust who you are? Be who you are, say who you are, and maintain that consistency. That is the first pillar of trust. So you can't be on Facebook and do the things that you want to do all in the namesake of I'm going to have fun, and then expect a company like Google to come and hire you, because there is a disconnect. And how can they trust you if they don't know which side of you is going to show up on Casual Friday?
Yeah. Well said. I don't even know if I can go behind that, Darren, but I will tell you, I share people often, and I share with companies, because even now as we are promoting the Y Sales Leadership Retreat, and companies are asking me, well, why should we pay for our leaders to attend? And I said, you should want to help your leaders with their brand, because their brand is a reflection of your brand and vice versa. Mm-hmm. So when you're working for a company, the last company that I worked for, they were at a meeting in Atlanta, a conference, and everyone came up and said, well, where's Joyce Johnson? How's Joyce Johnson, right? And so my brand's extension of them and vice versa. And so you have to realize, like Cynthia said, there's not a line there. And I share a story often with young people that one of my first assignments, that I was given when I got to college, was to write my obituary. And my instructor, who had been on television working in media here in Houston, said to us, what do you want people to say about you in the end? Because your name is the only thing you have. So what's going to be tied to your name?
Mm-hmm.
And so there is no, and not to say that you can't have fun. I tell kids all the time, I tell my own niece, have fun responsibly, right? So, but you have to realize that if you're going to build your own company, Darren Palmer you're the chief book officer, but you're also the chief sales officer of your company. Yes. And you're the chief brand officer of your company. Mm-hmm. So you have to be aware that there is no two lines. There's only one.
That's it. And I love that you all share that, because I think that that's something that all people need to hear right now, because we live in an age, especially during quarantining and the whole nine, that, some not realizing that there are people who are looking at your social media. I know with our company, before we hire you, we're looking at your social media, period. Like, before we hire you, I'm letting you know right now, if you're going to work for Self-Publishing 30 Days, the first thing that we're going to go to, no matter what you say during your interview, or no matter what you put on there as far as where you graduated from, we're going to click and see, propaganda, racist, somebody showing out, they drunk on there with their kid. We're not gonna hire you at all. And so I know I'm not the only one to do it, because I talked to a lot of other business owners. And you brought up a point, Joyce, and I want to go into why sales leadership retreat. Please talk to the people. I know I have people who are signing up. I know I'm going to be there as well. We know it. I heard a little bird say something about Miss Barnes is going to be there as well, but I don't want to give all the details away. So please, if you don't mind, share a little bit about why sales leadership retreat.
Yes, Ms. Warren should definitely be there. She's going to close it out as our keynote. But again, as Cynthia mentioned earlier, I want to, as I always say, inform, educate, and engage people about the sales profession. I want to get people working and moving and be in jobs where they can be happy, where they can earn good money and provide for their families. I want them to understand that if you graduated from college, or if you played a professional sport or what have you, and you don't get the job you want, your entry into that job may be sales, because you have those transferable skills where you're already speaking the language. So want to be able to train people to be their very best. But diving into the leadership retreat this year and the theme, 2020 reinvention, some of us, our brands are a little, need polishing. Right? Need a little uplifting. We need to have a reinvention of self and what we want to do. And in some cases, just start living a life that we really want to live. Mm-hmm. So I want to help people understand that, as I said before, your brand is an extension of your organization you work for. And even if that's your own company, and their brand's an extension of you. But how can you bring your best self to the table, no matter where you are in all instances? And that's why I wanted them to be on the beach. That's why I called it a retreat. And although we're virtual, I am still working with wine companies almost every day to send out a wine. I still want to do people want to do happy hour. They're going to receive a wine glass. They're going to receive a notebook and a bag and a t-shirt. I want them to feel like they left home and they actually was listening to Cynthia right in front of them, and they were able to go up to her when it was over and get a hug. So just really want to educate people and help them to bring their best, to be their best self, bring their best self to the table.
Well, I was preparing for that, and I think I'm going to still go ahead, because I knew it was going to be in the island, so I'm going to be working on my tan. Yeah, I'm going to be working on my tan before we get there. I want to have the right glow, before we get
yes.
there. Yeah, so we're going to do that. And, and Miss Barnes, if you don't mind, please share with the audience, just don't give them everything, but just share with them a glimpse of some of the things that you will be sharing for the Why Sales Leadership Retreat, if you don't mind.
The biggest takeaway from what I'll be discussing is how to create a new you. We have the uncanny ability as humans to be whomever we want to, and it's how we show up. So if you are in a position now and you don't like it, shame on you if you continue to be in that same position. So you grab a sheet of paper and you say, if I had to plan my life, the best life I can imagine, what does it look like? And then I'm going to give you steps to create it, because that's exactly what I did. In 2016, I was a freight broker working in Portland, Oregon, managing Apple shipments from Seattle, Washington, down to Atlanta, Georgia. And in 2020, I'm a woman in sales influencer and a LinkedIn top voice. So if anything is possible, yeah, anything is possible. And it's up to you to create it.
Mm-mm-mm. That's like Campbell's soup, Miss Barnes. That's good. That's good. That's good right there. You got me excited over. I'm trying to do the interview. I'm over here. I'm up there, my eyes getting big. I forgot that I'm interviewing somebody. Then that's just a little bit of what you're going to experience or whatnot for the Y Sales Leadership Retreat. And, Joyce, could you share more details about, I heard, I think it's happy hour somewhere. Could you share about some of the things that you got coming up or whatnot where people can connect?
Right. So coming up, as I said, since we're not going to be able to be there in person, virtually, I want people to really have an opportunity to network and get to know us, the panelists, and different people as we lead up. So we're starting on this Thursday a Pivot During Panic happy hour series. It's going to be every Thursday at 6 p.m. It'll be on Zoom. You go to our website, sign up for it, hit, sign up to re-event. And then we're also going to feed it out to our Facebook page. But we're going to have that series every week, and we'll have a different topic to help people as they pivot during panic. Because as I talked about with you, Darren, a lot of people think, that they're getting that, we're doomed and the market's down and nothing good is happening. No, a lot of millionaires, billionaires, opportunities come from times like these. So you're either going to be a sour pie about it, or are you going to join us for happy hour, learn some really good tips and techniques, network with some really great people, and figure out how you can pivot and end up on the best side of you and who you are by the time we're done with the full series and leadership program on June 26th.
Man, that's amazing. That's amazing. Joyce, if you don't mind too, please share how they can register for the event.
Yeah, so they can go to our website, Y Sales Network. And again, sign up to re-event, go to the Facebook page, Y Sales Network, or even I do this even on my personal page, IamJoyceJohnson.com. So ysalesnetwork.com and Y Sales Network on Facebook, and sign up to re-event. Also, when they sign up to re-event, they're going to get a complimentary copy of my ebook, How to Reinvent Yourself.
I love it. Love it. Miss Barnes, how can they connect with you, whether it's social media handles or website information or your association?
Our association is National Association of Women Sales Professionals. The URL is nawsp.org, nawsp.org. If you'd like to connect with me directly, you can follow me on LinkedIn. My name is Cynthia Barnes. And NAWSP has a tribe, which is there's no access fee. It's at www. Yes, you have to enter the www.nawsptribe.com. So join the conversation.
That's amazing.
And Darren, I would like to add. Oh, I'm sorry.
Ahead.
I would like to add one more thing too. Is that you guys have had access to Cynthia now. You've heard her speak. She's a thought leader. You know what her goals are and how she can. You have some understanding how she can help. Well, she is so passionate about this and her calling that for the Y Sales Leadership Retreat, for everyone that signs up, the $119 to join, she's giving them a complimentary $150 value plus more, because I'm a member. You're getting a whole lot more. That's like if you sign up for one lunch, so one virtual lunch. But they're going to receive a complimentary membership to National Association of Women Sales Professionals. So we have a lot of great things for them. And I just grabbed this side bag for me too, because the Bahamas, they're missing us because we're not going to be there. So they've sent some bags for all of us with shirts and hats and a lot of goodies as well. So Bahamas Ministry of Tourism, Sports and Aviation is going to be helping us through the happy hour series. So please join us every Thursday at 6 p.m.
Also, awesome. And I just want to give breaking news too, as well, for all those who are signing up. If you are looking at doing a book, that we will be taking $1,000 off any publishing package that you would like to have, if you want to get that book done, if you want to grow your career or your business. So that's what we're going to be donating to this cause, because I believe in this. And I just wanted to share with you, ladies, that it's important for those who are listening to this to understand the power of partnership. And I want to close out on this. I think it's so many lonesome doves or whatnot, or I'm going to be the Superman or Superwoman, and I don't need any assistance. I don't need any help. I just want y'all to close us out and share the importance of partnership, and how, not the toxic relationships, but real, true, genuine, where you see the law of reciprocity working, partnerships, and how important do you feel that those are, if you don't mind?
Well, I'll say for me, I like partnerships. And a lot of times when it comes to nonprofits and other organizations, I just think, why reinvent the wheel? I also think that there's always going to be a little something that someone else can add to the grits, right? Whether it's some sugar or butter, what have you, that maybe you're not adding to make things better. So if you can find someone, that has that level of expertise, it has that vision and that passion. First of all, I just want to be a part of that energy, right? And so, and I think 2-3 people can do a lot better and go a lot further along. I think that proverb says that if you want to go fast, do it alone. If you want to go far, do it with a team. And so that's what it means to me. I really want to, as we said earlier, leave a legacy that, who is Joyce Johnson? And when people, it's almost tearful for me when people say, oh, Joyce has done so much to help me, or this, that, and the other. And I don't even remember it, right? But that's what I want. And that's really how true legacies and leadership and wealth is born, through partnerships.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Joyce. Miss Barnes, what are your take?
You've got to surround yourself with people who are going to take you further. If you're the smartest person in your tribe of friends, professionally or personally, then it's time to change tribes. And you can either change your circle or you can change your circle, right? Right. So realize that your income is going to be the average of the 5 closest people to you. If you want to make $100,000 a year, then govern yourself accordingly. But you can't expect yourself to grow if you are not surrounding yourself with people who inspire you to grow. You never play tennis with someone who's worse off than you, because you'll never get better. So you've got to make sure that you are very selective about the people that you have surrounding you and who are giving you good advice. Not all advice is good advice, but make sure that you surround yourself with people who are going to motivate you, push you, tell you, hey, you know what, that's not quite right, but inspire you to be better, because that's how you grow. Remember, you don't play tennis with anybody that's worse off than you.
I love it. I love it. How you going to be an eagle hanging around chickens? That don't go along. Joyce, any last words?
Just one, thank you. I did a post today that 5 books later, I don't think it's even been 5 years, but 5 books later, you're still my guy, Darren. You are just always support me, motivate, send me interesting information to read and what have you. Thank you also for being a part of the Wise Sales Leadership Retreat to help out with people with the importance of storytelling. And again, I just really, at the end of the day, want everyone to have a takeaway. I want them to be full. I want them to have knowledge. I want them to reinvent and just go out and live them best selves. So go and sign up to reinvent again at Wise Sales Network on Facebook or www.wisesalesnetwork.com. And as I say, make it a great day.
Awesome.
But yes.
I just want to thank you, Joyce Johnson. I want to thank you, Miss Cynthia Barnes, for coming on today. I value your time, so I don't want to hold us too long. If you want more, go to wisesalesnetwork.com. I guarantee you won't regret it, but you have to understand the importance of investing in yourself. I see so many people, Miss Barnes shared about it as well. Who are you listening to? if you're desiring to go to another level, whether it's spiritually, whether it's in your family or whatnot, in your business, you got to hang around the right people or whatnot. So you heard the podcast today, you heard the show today, so you know you're in the right room. So let's connect with Miss Cynthia Barnes and also Joyce Johnson, the sales champion, and let's make it a great day. But thank you, ladies, so much for coming on to Market Leader Live. I'm really, truly grateful to have you all on.
Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Cynthia. Appreciate you both.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Anytime. Until next time, remember, if you won't change, be the change. Be blessed and be great. All right.